Welcome to another edition of the Stack Supplement Podcast. We run down all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. And I will say, last week wasn't as busy it was very busy in terms of stories, but I don't think we had as many big stories as we usually see. Not a lot of entirely new products, but still plenty of excitement. There were a few key points that were just almost unignorable, if that's an actual word. We're going to kick things off with this episode with news of the Protein Wars. So the Protein Wars opening round went down last week. We had 140 to start. Then I think a lot of brands found out that kind of when it was live that they could be in there, and so we added a few throughout the week. And then we took the top 16 after midnight last night. Recording this Monday, should be up Tuesday, but yeah, it was it's the highest voted opening round we've had in the Protein Wars since switching the format. So originally we used to actually cap it out. We used to have it was like something ridiculous. Back at the beginning we had, it might have been 10 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 10 or something weird like that. I can't remember what we did, but we had it segmented later from the beginning. And then eventually we introduced basically the all-out opening round, which was suggested to me by my friend Dan over at Ghost. He was referencing another competition in a different industry that did this, and I thought that actually makes things a whole lot easier because it doesn't mean we have to cap it at an even amount. But yeah, last we had 150 or so protein powders. The top 16 have gone through, and I have them right in front of me. So if you want to take part in round 2 or quarterfinals, whatever you want to call it, it is going down now. We made it simple. Go over to proteinwars.com. I've even made a very sweet pop-up graphic that slips up at the bottom of every page on Stacked, just so you don't miss it. But the groups are, so this is no specific order, no placing, no higher voting. We just get the top 16 and randomize them up and put them in there. So in the group 1, we have GNC's Whey Bollock versus Pro Gym, Lyca Pro Isolate, and Animal Whey. Then we have Jocko Fuels, Jocko Milk Protein Powder, Ghost Whey, Dynamic Whey from Beyond Raw, and Oxy Whey from EHP Labs. Dynamic Whey being the big newcomer in there. One of the few entries that steps things up in terms of the premium side, and they actually have introduced, I think it was like a few months ago, so it's not that old, alongside the mass gainer that they had in there from Beyond Raw. But Ghost Whey, obviously the returning champion in that mix. So we've had a few champions over the years, obviously. Actually, should I mention in Group 1, Pro Gym's in there, another champion, but yeah, Ghost Whey is the champion. And then we move into the Group 3, there's Muscle Tech, Nitro Tech versus Caged Protein Isolate Elite, V1 Pro from V1 Nutra, and then Podium Whey. Muscle Tech is always the top finisher, so they've shown out, as they always do, making themselves known. And then Group 4, we have Seek's Clear Protein, Rule 1's R1 Protein, Levels Whey Protein, and RYSE's Loaded Protein. As I said about Pro Gym and Ghost Whey, RYSE Loaded Protein is another past champion. In fact, is the reigning champion. Currently 2-time champion. We haven't had a 3-time. We've had 3 2-time champions in Mansports ISO and NutraBio's ISO and RYSE Loaded Protein. So this could be the year that it becomes another 3-time champion, the first 3-time champion. We could get another another all-new champion, and we could also get another 2-time champion, obviously with Ghost and Pro Gym being back in there. But I will note that Seek is the only clear protein in there, which is pretty cool to see because clear proteins have kind of come into their own these past couple years, maybe mostly the last year, where I call it now a subcategory of protein powder. And yeah, they've gained immense popularity, and good to see Seek shining through, standing up for the clear protein powders out there on the market and getting through to the second round. And I wouldn't be surprised if it makes it through the third. It's a dedicated brand entirely focused around clear protein, so all of its followers are all about their protein. So it's a pretty cool entry to see on there. But as I mentioned, you can go there and vote at proteinwars.com. The quarterfinals ends on Sunday at midnight. Then we take basically the most voted from each group, take them on to the semifinals, go head to head, and then we take obviously the 2 from the two groups and go into the grand final. And they get to take home the custom championship ring, which looks beautiful this year. We asked the designers to come up with something very special, so it's on the site. You can check it out. It is truly glamorous, I think is probably the best word for it. And it is dusted and glazed and iced as best as you can possibly imagine. But next we're going to go straight over to the news and get things started on what went down last week. And again, we didn't have too many news stories, but I'm going to start with one of my favorite ones, and that is Bear Bells. Bear Bells, the protein bar, the maker of our long-time number one rated protein bar. They have brought a bit of that European flavor to the US market. So if you follow Stacked, you'll know that typically in the morning hours we share news from the UK and Europe, then we move over to North America and then cycle through to Australasia, Oceania, and then a bit of Asia, and then usually Middle East and India in the later hours of the night and early hours in the morning. But in those earlier hours of Eastern Standard Time, you get the European functional companies, and they know what to do in that area. Their protein snacks, I would say, are just unmatched. The creativity, the innovation, the variety. It's not as simple as a protein bar in a different style or a different consistency. They have pancakes, ice creams, chocolates, truffles, you name it, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they're probably thinking of it. They just have an unimaginable size list of different products and shapes and sizes. And one of the other things that they do a lot of in that part of the world, especially the UK, specifically Europe and somewhat in the UK, is they make custom advent calendars for Christmas. An advent calendar is traditionally, it's a calendar filled with 24 windows, and you open each one leading up to Christmas Day. And these guys have been doing it for years, where they shift up the narrative and they basically make a calendar and put their protein bars in there. Sometimes supplements, sometimes samples, sometimes whatever. And it's you got to admit, it's a pretty fun, cool little thing. And yeah, they've been doing it for years. And Bear Bells had done it in the UK last year. Now they've brought that twist, that fun, to the US. So Bear Bells has heavily distribution in the US, and they've brought that custom advent calendar to the US market. So it's on, I don't know if it's still available. I wouldn't be surprised if it's completely gone. These things tend to go pretty quickly. So basically it is a calendar of 24 windows, and behind each one is one full-size Bear Bells protein bar. And it's actually a pretty good deal because it's $60, and you get basically 2 boxes of the protein bars, which may traditionally cost you $50. So you're basically paying $10 more for the fun of an advent calendar, the fun of eating a snack that you just don't know what it's going to be every day leading up to Christmas. And they have a variety, so they have all the products, as far as I know, if not all of them, most of the products from the US side. So that includes the soft protein bar, the Tidal Bear Bells protein bar, and the vegan protein bar. Not all of the snacks you get in the UK and Europe. Their variety is a little bit different, have a few more flavors on both the soft bar and the regular side. But it is a mix of the US flavors, and you can get it now. And I will actually check for you to see if it's still in stock. I don't think it is. I think it's gone. But either way, yeah, I can't. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The link I had was for the early VIP launch, but yeah, it's a pretty cool, fun little product, especially seeing, again, that taste of Europe come over into the US market. From there, we're going to move over to another category that we announced. Actually, this is a bit of the admin side, but we're going to get into it anyway. We have our annual Brand of the Year awards. I don't think I've talked about these on here before, but we used to hold them in November, nominees announced November, then we would announce the winner in December. And then as things got a little more competitive, we wanted people to have the chance to share everything. So we encompass everything a brand does from 1st of January to the last day of December. And it's basically, we have our overall Brand of the Year. It's been running for God knows how long. I think it's about as long as Protein Wars, if not older. We've had tremendous winners. The last with Polar Nutrition's the reigning 2-time champion. We had Ghost before that. Inspired, Dedicated's been in there, Myochem. There have been some beast winners, and all deserving, just powering through the year. And so it is all judged entirely on the year. So we basically take into account, like, if you launch 6 powerhouse badass supplements, and they are all fitting with that sports nutrition realm, very cool things, and their formulas are good, it's a good chance you're going to win. Now, if someone does 7 and they're all equally as good, then yeah, you can imagine that would take the title, and 8, but it's very rare you get that many full-blown sports nutrition supplements entirely new for a brand. And obviously, as you get older, it takes a little bit more innovation. And then you got flavors that count. So we do count the flavors, and sometimes you can do a little bit creative on that side. And we also do big points for things like functional foods, energy drinks, heading into a category that is linked to sports nutrition loosely. And these days, the energy drink very much is. That scores huge points for us. It always has. If you look back in our past winners, you'll see that guys who've dived into functional food and energy drinks have tended to pretty much been high up there, if not take it home. And so yeah, we're running Brand of the Year awards. So we have the overall Brand of the Year, which we call our prestigious Brand of the Year. We also have the Functional Brand of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, International Brand of the Year, and Energy Drink Brand of the Year. I will tell you that the Energy Drink Brand of the Year, I don't think we're announcing nominees. I think we're just announcing the straight winner. I have to double check on that, but if you don't see the nominees announced, then that was exactly what happened. And then so that last week we announced the International Brand of the Year nominees, and they are Strong Nation from India, Viking Power out of Sweden, Heavy Nation over in South Africa, and Zombie Labs from down under in Australia. So these are all pretty loaded brands that have just killed it this year. They're all put together solid supplements. And obviously with different markets comes different competitiveness, and we definitely took that into account with the likes of Strong Nation and Heavy Nation. Strong Nation being an Indian brand, so an advanced supplement for that area of the world is not the same as you would get here, but they have definitely elevated the bar in that part of the world. And it's been a crazy year for all of those brands. If you look at all of them, Viking Power especially, they have just torn it apart this year. They've just been ridiculously good. And you can look them all up. They've all been busy. They've all been doing great supplements. And this week, I believe we're going to be announcing the functional nominees. Then next week will be the, what's the other one? The newcomer. And then we have the overall Brand of the Year nominees. And then we'll go through to the winners one by one, week by week, probably skipping Christmas week. But all of that and more to stay tuned. And as I said, we do have subcategories. And obviously those things we can't necessarily judge on the circumstances I was talking about before, about variety and just solid formulas. Functional brands obviously don't necessarily apply in that sense, but the same principles are taken into account, consistent throughout the year. Solid supplements, creativity, innovation, and just general excitement and keeping things fun and moving. And the thing is that everyone needs to know that even if you're not nominated, even if you are, it's not necessarily that it's a bad brand. It's just our criteria and what we look for it is specific. And I've never changed. I've gone unchanged for all these years. And we look forward to announcing the winner and congratulate anyone who basically put effort into this year, featured on Stacked, and especially obviously the guys who get nominated and the winner at the end of the day. So yeah, the International Brand of the Year breakdown is on the site. And then we'll have functional food, newcomer, and then overall Brand of the Year, followed with the winners announcing the following weeks. Next up, we're going to go to Celsius. So the Celsius team recently released the Essential Energy Drink, which was debuted at the NACS. We actually had a full-on close-up look of all of the flavors and got to try it at the show. Pretty damn good competitor, geared more towards sport nutrition and performance. It's got aminos in there, not a lot, but it has them, higher levels of caffeine and a few components that you'll get from the other Celsius drinks. But a pretty solid energy drink. And it only just hit the market. It's rolling out to 7-Elevens recently, 4 flavors to choose from. But the news and the reason we're bringing it up now is that the 2 flavors that will be rolling out in early 2024 have already been confirmed. So joining the original selection of Orangesicle, Cherry Limeade, Blue Crush, and Dragonberry is Mango Tango and Fruit Burst. Fruit Burst being a classic fruit punch, and Mango Tango being a straightforward mango. They have been just unveiled and should be rolling out, I believe I was told early 2024, but you can check out what they look like on the website, and then look out for them in the new year. But pretty cool to see that a brand that's just launched this drink, like I said, this month, late last month, I think it was this month, giving you 3 months and you're already getting new flavors, 2 no less. It's a pretty high pace, especially coming from Celsius, a well-established brand. And again, this isn't for its flagship drink, the one in the 12 ounce. This is the brand new Celsius Essentials drink with that heightened 270 milligrams of caffeine. The next we've got 3 more to close out the show. Actually, like I said, it wasn't a huge amount, but excitement all around nonetheless. We're going to go to Gorilla Mind. Gorilla Mind, who's had a phenomenal year. I think I was counting, rattling off what they had done recently. It was like 10 to 12 completely new supplements this year. It's insane. They've just been pumping them out, and that's not to mention the reformulations, the improvements they did for their, they revamped their, their focus supplements just today. They redid their amino, I think it was their sleep supplement as well. And then they also ramped up the Test Booster Sigma, which is features a combination that we've seen a lot of other brands utilize as well. So they've had just a ridiculous year, and you cannot look past the energy drink. And that's what we're talking about here is we posted about how Gorilla Mind is still very much on track for its one flavor every month for the first 12 months following the launch of the Gorilla Mind energy drink. It was an impressive, bold statement to make that they were going to do a new flavor every month after the product launched. And even though they haven't been doing exactly like a flavor each month, they've been on track. And by that, I mean the first flavor, I think, was announced within a few weeks of when the product was launched. And then we got another one quickly following after that. But across the 8 months, I think since it's been around, 7 months, they have indeed added 7 flavors. So I'm just going to rattle them off. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head the order. So the first ones were Arctic White, Black Cherry, Vanilla, Exotic Kiwi, then Orange Crush. Then we got Wild Grape, Strawberry Candy, Lychee Bomb, and Tiger's Blood. And those took us to July. So we got 4 more flavors within 3 months. Then in August, while the brand was ahead, we got a sour watermelon candy. I think it was sour watermelon candy. And then just this month, we got Lucky Lemon. So they were kind of 1 or 2 behind. Then we got Lucky Lemon, and then at the end of this month, it's been reported that they were getting a new one called Tropical Storm. So that will indeed be 7 new flavors within 7 months of launching, putting them on track for the new flavor once a month for the first 12. So obviously, if we don't get 1 in December, we would need 2 in January or 3 in February. But to see them do this is ridiculous. I think I don't even know how many brands do flavors this often in terms of energy drinks. You just don't see it on any capacity. Monster certainly doesn't do it. Ghost certainly, Ghost obviously has been ripping it apart with their special editions and their sweet as 8.4 ounce cans. They've been tearing up the category in a whole different way, which is what Ghost does. But, in terms of flavor frequency, you just don't see it from anyone else. And I think the closest I could recall would be RYSE. When they were doing their limited flavors, they did 1 a month, but I don't think they did it for that long. I think it might have been 6 months or so. And obviously they had their inner circle thing that they had going on, which saw a lot of flavor innovation. But I don't know, it's just been incredibly impressive seeing what they've been able to do. And, only launching in April, selling out in 10 days or something. It's been incredible. But that isn't all the news we had for Gorilla Mind either. Not only this week did they announce that, we got word that we're going to get Tropical Storm at the end of the month, but Gorilla Mind has confirmed it is launching 5 new products for Black Friday. Now, take that with a grain of salt. That's not going to be 5 completely new innovations like an all-new Test Booster, multivitamin, all that stuff. It could be 5 new flavors, but we've already learned today, we posted about it today, 2 of those is a reformulation of their flagship nootropic, obviously made even better, shifted to a giant 10 capsule serving from 6. And then they also introduced a version of that nootropic, Gorilla Mind Smooth is the name, sorry. And so that's stimulant free. Now they've introduced a product just called Gorilla Mind, and that is the same formula with a little bit of added caffeine. And the cool part about it is that they've made them so that they can be used together. So because the formula in the caffeinated version is identical to that of the uncaffeinated version, you have the ability to take 5 of one and 5 of the other, and the only ingredient that would change is the caffeine. So it's kind of a nice little, I guess, customizable supplement. Like if you don't want the caffeine, you can just, take 5 of this, 5 of that. It brings the caffeine, I think it's 300 milligrams in the full serving, so that brings you down to 150. But because the dosages of everything else is exactly the same, which includes a heightened 2 grams of tyrosine, I think they also added uridine into this one, like the energy drink, you get the same full experience. If you were to take 10 capsules of Gorilla Mind Smooth or 10 capsules of Gorilla Mind, you would get all of the same ingredients, just the caffeine's different. So it's a nice little tweak in things like that. But as far as I know, the other product that they have, 2 of them are flavors. So that's 4 of the 5. So there still might be another thing in there. But just so you know, that's a lot to be dropping, and pretty cool to see. And they do have a big deal, big sale. And as far as I know, they also said that they're going to do $1. They're going to be selling some things for $1, but they didn't go into detail on that. And so my guess is that it's not going to necessarily be buy a pre-workout for $1 and check out. I think it's going to be sort of spend 20 and then buy this for $1 type thing. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Black Friday is this coming week, but obviously stay tuned. We'll make sure we share details, especially if you do actually get a supplement for $1. But by the sounds of things, it's going to be a pretty cool thing you won't want to miss. No one's going to complain about $1, even if you do have to buy 2 pre-workouts at a regular price, and you can buy this one for $1. That's a pretty cool little deal. But for the full breakdown on that Gorilla Mind, head to the site. The next story we've got is from RYSE regarding the CEO Pre-Workout. So last week we talked about the supplement, basically 17 ingredients, 12 branded ingredients, and that thing was completely unveiled and you can now get your hands on it. So today actually RYSE launched its Black Friday sale as well as the CEO Pre-Workout. I was under the impression it wasn't going to be available until Thursday or Friday. It's not the case, it's gone live now. You can pick it up at $64.99, but that price has been dropped with the Black Friday sale. You get 30% off, which brings it all the way down to $45, which is a damn good deal considering. And I did think that it was going to be more expensive than the Godzilla or Pump and Stim Daddy supplements. But yeah, like if it was just $65, I can imagine people being a bit hesitant, which I still think it's a damn good deal at $65 for what you get compared to their other supplements. But at $45, this is not even an argument you want to make. That's a damn good deal. And yeah, you get freebies as well during the Black Friday sale. But we didn't talk about the formula last week, and that was also unveiled last week following the days of our podcast. I'm going to rattle off here quickly to get into the last story and round this out. But the formula is indeed stacked. It does indeed have 17 active ingredients, 12 of them premium branded components, and the list includes, I'm just going to rattle them all off. There's 10 grams of pure citrulline, 5 of beta power betaine, 4 grams of beta-alanine, 2.5 tyrosine, 2 grams each of NO3T, arginine nitrate, and taurine, 508 of vasodrive, half a gram of cognizin, PKTP at 400, citrapeak at 200, citriagglutatione at 200, 200 milligrams of caffeine with 100 milligrams of extended release caffeine, 125 dynamine, cognatic, I call it Cognate IQ, I don't know if that's correct, at 100 milligrams. Then you've got thincamine, vincamine at 20 milligrams, and then estrogen to ramp up the absorption and efficacy of everything at 15 milligrams. It is indeed a loaded pre-workout. I wouldn't quite call it to that upper realm of elite at $65. I mean, it is still a good deal. And the formula is stacked, and definitely the most stacked RYSE pre-workout we've ever seen. And so, yeah, and at $45, it's almost a no-brainer. That's $45 is in the realm of some of your more traditional pre-workouts, not even in the premium area. But again, 65 down to 45 is, I mean, I can't see anybody really complaining with that. And yeah, it's for this week only. And the product is a limited edition drop. So if you miss out, it is not coming back. Now, the last story we have is the one we got on the screen. As always, it is Ghost Hydration, the product that we've all been suspected and anticipating over the last few months and weeks has been announced, and it is a beverage, a hydration supporting, performance powering beverage. It's called Ghost Hydration Drink. As far as I know, they didn't really reveal a whole lot of details. They didn't really go into too much about the formula, just showed off and kind of let you know it was coming. As far I've heard, it's coming in January, so still a while away if that is the truth or that is the case. But knowing Ghost, this is going to be a ridiculously disruptive competitor. I had heard about them coming into hydration. I just said it's Prime just proved that the space can be disrupted and and smashed. And Ghost proved that they can do that in supplements, as they've done over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And then they did it in energy drinks with a similar formula that they did with high quality ingredients, well thought out dosages and complete formulas, great marketing, dynamite flavors, special edition collaborations. And then they bought that formula in energy drinks and crushed it there too. Now they're going to do that in, I'm gathering, the sports drink space. I just cannot see it playing out any other way than proving as successful as Ghost Energy Drink, if not more, when there's less competitiveness in that space. And a lot of the guys that lead that area aren't as innovative or as, I guess, fast moving as you get an energy drink. So it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited to see them just roll out the shelves and just see what they do. And just see what, and Ghost, knowing Dan and the team at Ghost, whatever they've got up their sleeve, whatever they've done, you already know that they have the next 6 months planned, right? You know that while this is what they're coming out with, whatever's to follow in the month that's already been set up, we might even have a special edition flavor already in the works to follow this when it rolls out. They've got a proven track record to disrupt categories. They did it in greens, they did it in vegan protein, they did it in creatine, they've done it in, arguably, with the whole branding in supplements in general. They did it in energy drinks. I mean, I just cannot wait to see how this plays out and obviously try the product. As far as formula goes, we don't know too much about it, but knowing that they put together a pretty comprehensive premium combination of ingredients for their Ghost Hydration drink, the Ghost Hydration powder supplement, I'm gathering we're going to get pretty much the same in this, which will likely be just a solid set of electrolytes, a very well thought out, well put together set of electrolytes, and some premium ingredients. Ghost is known for using them in each of its products. It obviously does it in the Ghost Energy Drink. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we get estrogen from the energy drink in the Ghost Hydration Drink, and maybe even a bit of Synactive, which is, I believe that's in the hydration supplement, in the hydration powder supplement. And that's a premium performance powerhouse, and that could easily come over to the Ghost Hydration Drink as well. So the formula is going to be on point, and that's one of the killer things about this, is that Ghost knows how to put together a solid formula. They do it in supplements, which is traditionally far more advanced of category in terms of formulations than something like a drink or even a carbonated beverage. And so they're going to bring a bit of that experience to hydration. And I wholeheartedly look forward to this thing. Like I said, there's far too many tools on its belt for it to not make a massive impact. Again, after seeing what Prime did to the space, and what was they projected to do, 1.2 billion this year, it's going to be fun to watch. It's setting up a powerhouse 2024, and we're here for it. But to check it out in more detail, head to the site, stack.com, stack3d.com. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, your mother, your brother, everybody. That's all I ask. Visit the site every day, multiple times a day. That's all that we ask for in return and support for the service we endeavor and try our best to achieve. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to having you back next time.